Good morning, my dear students, learner, listener, the spectators, and the audience. All of you are welcome in this morning session of English literature. Here I'm going to represent a very beautiful poem, Sohrab and Rustam, composed by Matthew Arnold. Actually, the poem Sohrab and Rustam is a long narrative poem composed by Matthew Arnold. The poem was written about the year 1853. This poem is Arnold's attempt at handling Oriental themes. It is based on an episode from the Shahnama of Firdausi. Rustam was one of the bravest Persian heroes. He was responsible. I think the whole credit goes to Rustam for driving the Mongol hordes back in their attack on his native land. His son Sohrab came to fight on behalf of the Tartar king Afrasib in the single combat which was desired by Sohrab. Rustam slew him. Only after the fatal blow was struck, Rustam learned that he was the father of the slain hero. Thus, let me discuss in detail about the poem. Actually, Sohrab and Rustam is an epic fragment. It begins with Sohrab serving in Tartar army. He knows that he is the son of Rustam, who serves in the Persian army. Rustam is, however, unaware of his relationship to Sohrab. We learn to know later that Rustam was misinformed by Sohrab's mother, Tehiman. When Sohrab was born, she was afraid that Sohrab would be taken away from her to be trained in arms and sent a word that a daughter had been born. Sohrab's mother is actually responsible for Rustam's fatal ignorance. Now, ever since Sohrab grew up, and it had been the sole desire of the heart to find his father. He had learned from his mother all that he could learn about his father. Naturally, the son wanted to distinguish himself as much as the father, and with the end in view, he joined the Tartar army. But Saurav was far from happy until he could find his father, or until he could at least attract his father's notice by his daring and skill in battle. At last, he hit upon a plan of doing so. The Tartars and the Persian were ever at war. One night, Saurabh lay tossing on his bed and made the plan in his mind that he would challenge the Persian chiefs to single combat. His idea was that if he could distinguish himself in single combat, his father would hear of his fame and come forward to acknowledge him. Next morning, even before daybreak, he paid a visit to the Tartar chief Persian Viza and put his proposal before him. The proposal was he would challenge the Persian chief to single combat, and the result of combat should decide the fate of the battle. Persian Viza pointed out to him the risk of single combat and implored him to stay with the Tartars and share the risks of common fighting. Paranviza advised him to seek his father not to throw fight but in peace, but Sara would not hear of it. Paranviza had to give way to his request. So Paranviza next walked through the Tartar army, already drawn up in battle order, and stood before the Persian and announced Sarab's challenge. The Persian chief were in a fix. In a fix, मुहावरा बड़ी दुविधा में. They had लिसन टू मी, कोई बात नहीं, एक बार कोई आ गया मिलने के लिए दोबारा से. What I was, where I was? Okay, yes, yes. The Persian chiefs were in a fix. They had none among the old and bold enough to take up Saurabh's challenge. They could count on Rustam's only, but Rustam was sulking and had pitched his tent apart from the Persian army. They could but turn to Rustam in the peril, and they decided to accept the challenge. The Persian chief Farid came forward and announced that they would find a champion to meet Saurabh. Now Guduzar called on Rustam. Rustam at first refused to fight. It was on business of his. Let the Persian youth, whom the Persian king favored, meet Saurabh's challenge. He complained of the Persian king's ingratitude, but later he was stung by Gudur's taunts into accepting Saurabh's challenge, but he made a condition that he would fight incognito. Rustam put on his armor and stepped out of the tent, and accompanied by his horse Rooks, he proceeded to the battleground. The Persian greeted him with loud cheers, but the Tartars did not know who he was. In the meantime, Saurabh put on his armor, Kavach, Pehna, and made his way through the Tartar army to meet Rustam. He did not know that it was Rustam, his father, whom he was going to meet in single combat. Rustam saw him approach and was moved to pity at the sight of his tender and graceful youth. Rustam spoke like a father before him and expressed his desire to adopt him as son if he would but leave the Tartar host. Saurabh's filial instinct seemed to whisper to him that it was his father speaking to him. On his knees, he begged Rustam to tell him whether he was not Rustam. Then Rustam mused, Chintan kiya within himself that the young fellow must be very crafty and that he would make peace with him and offer him gifts and go away and boast of parting from Rustam on equal terms after having challenged the Persian lords to single combat. Rustam now suppressed all his pity for him, actually for the young man, and strongly bade him either fight or yield. Saurabh answered his boast of saying that victory sways with the breath of heaven. Then the fight began. Rustam hurled his spear at Saurabh. Saurabh quickly sprang aside, and Rustam's spear got itself transfixed into that sandy area. Then, in his turn, Saurabh hurled his spear and is struck deep into Rustam's shield. The iron plates or the shield protected Rustam by turning away the spear. Then Rustam took his club. It was the trunk of a tree, huge and rough, and none but Rustam could lift it. He struck a heavy blow with the club, but again Saurabh sprang aside, and the club slipped out of the Rustam's hand, and he lost his balance and fell, clutching the sand. Saurabh might have drawn his sword and killed him, but he looked on and smiled. Saurabh now made an appeal to Rustam, proposing peace and reconciliation. Rustam was trembling with rage and paid no heed to Saurabh's appeal. He grasped his spear again in his hand, bidding Saurabh to fight on, advanced at him. Saurabh, kindled by his taunts, drew his sword and thrust at him. It was an unnatural combat. This combat between father and son. Suddenly, the sky darkened above them, and a wind moaned across the plain. Father and son were wrapped up in a gloom, while the sun shone full upon the two armies watching them. It was a desperate fight. Rustam first drove his spear right against the shield held out by Saurabh, but it could not reach his skin. Then Saurabh attacked with his sword and shore away the horsehair plume of his helmet, and Rustam had to bow his shield. Then the gloom grew thicker and rumbled in the air, and the light flings rent the cloud, and rooks, name of horse, uttered a dreadful cry. It did not seem to be a horse's cry. Saurabh again struck at Rustam's helmet, but this time his sword went to piece. Next, Rustam lifted his spear and shouted, Rustam! The cry made Saurabh pause in bewilderment, and while he stood defenseless, Rustam transfixed him with his spear. Rustam exulted over him, and Saurabh replied that his father Rustam would advantage of avenge his death. Resume was still incredulous. He told Saurabh that Rustam never had a son. Saurabh claimed to be Rustam's son. He spoke feelingly of his mother, who was never again to see him. The memories of his early married life came back to Rustam. He could not still believe that Saurabh was his son. Then Saurabh bared his arm and showed the sign, pricked on it the figure of griffins, Rustam's emblem. Rustam was now convinced. He cried, Oh boy, thy father, and fainted. When he was brought back to consciousness by Saurabh's gentle caresses, लाड़चा बच्चे को करता है, दुलार पुच्छी करता है, caresses, his grief burst forth. फूट फूट के रोता है. He was going to take his life, but Saurabh prevented him by saying that he had but met the doom. किस्मत में ही ऐसे लिखा था, क़यामत को ऐसा ही पसंद था. That was written down at his birth. भाग्य में जन्म के टाइम ही ऐसा लिखा था. And that his father was but the unconscious agent of fate. He demanded his father's affection in his dying moments. It was a happiness to him to have found his father. Rooks, उनका जो घोड़ा था, was moved by their grief and came nosing to them. Saurabh seemed to envy the horse who had shared in all the adventures of his father. He begged his father to carry his dead body to Seistan and erect a stately tomb over it, and further to let the Tartar go back in peace. Rustam promised to fulfill both his desires. Now Rustam lamented that his life had been a life of blood, and that his life of blood he would never end. Saurabh predicted the end in the last journey of Kai Khusro. The spear end was now pulled out by him, and his pain was eased a little. Night fell on them. Rustam drew the horseman's cloak round and sat by his dead son. The two armies now retired to camp. Rustam and his son were left alone. The oxes flowed on, unaffected by the human tragedy that had taken place on its low-lying set. डियर स्टूडेंट्स, ये बड़ा डिटेल में आपको इसके बारे में, पोइम के बारे में अच्छी तरह से एक बार समझाया है. सोहराब एवं रुस्तम एक महाकाव्य का अंश है. यह तातार सेना में सोहराब द्वारा सेवा किए जाने के साथ प्रारंभ होता है. वह जानता है कि रुस्तम का बेटा, जो कि पर्शियन सेना का सैनिक है, दूसरी ओर रुस्तम भी सोहराब के साथ अपने संबंध से अनजान है. यहाँ पर थोड़ा प्रिय विद्यार्थियों ध्यान से सुनना. मैं आपको एक बड़ी डिटेल में और बहुत संक्षिप्त में, दोनों कहें डिटेल ब्रीफ में साथ समझाता हूँ। कविता जो सोहराब एंड रुस्तम है, मैथ्यू अर्नोल्ड द्वारा लिखी गई एक लंबी वर्णनात्मक कविता है। लगभग 1853 में इसकी रचना की गई। यह कविता पूर्वीय देशों की कथाओं पर जैसे लिखे जाते हैं ना, उस प्रकार से लिखने का प्रयास है। यह कविता फिरदौसी के शाहनामा की एक कथा पर आधारित है। रुस्तम एक महान पर्शियन वीर योद्धा था। उसी ने मंगोल लुटेरों को उस देश से वापस खदेड़ के उनके देश में भेजा था। रुस्तम का लड़का सोहराब तातार बादशाह अफरेशियब की ओर से युद्ध करने के लिए आया। सोहराब की ओर से प्रस्ताव एकल मुठभेड़ में कम्बाट में रुस्तम ने उसे मार दिया। सोहराब को घातक चोट मारने के बाद ही रुस्तम को इस भेद का पता चला कि मृतक योद्धा सोहराब उसका पुत्र ही था। सोहराब और रुस्तम की कहानी थोड़ा सा सुन लीजिए संक्षिप्त में। जाल नाम का एक व्यक्ति का बेटा रुस्तम है। रुस्तम ने घूमते हुए अज़रबैजान प्रांत के एक नगर समेंजन के राजा की पुत्री तहमीनेब से विवाह किया। रुस्तम ने विवाह किया, समझ में आ गई, तहमीनेब से। उससे उसके एक पुत्र पैदा हुआ और पुत्र पैदा होने से पूर्व ही रुस्तम अपनी पत्नी को छोड़ के दूर चला गया। जाने से पहले वह अपनी पत्नी को यह निर्देश दे गया कि यदि उसका होने वाला शिशु लड़का हो तो उसके बाजू पर एक मोहर लगा दे, सील लगा दे। तहमीनेब ने उसकी इस आज्ञा को तो पालन किया, पर उसने यह नहीं कहलवाया कि उसका जो संतान है वो लड़का हुआ है। शायद उसको ये डर था कि पत्नी ने रुस्तम को ये बता दिया कि उसके लड़का हुआ है तो वो लड़के को युद्ध सैनिक प्रशिक्षण के लिए वहाँ से दूर ले जाएगा। इस बात को छुपाने के लिए उसने झूठ बोल दिया कि लड़की हुई है। ऐसा करने का उसका उद्देश्य यही था कि वो उसको दूर ना ले जाए। बड़े होने पर सोहराब ने जो बेटा था ततार बादशाह अफरेशियब का पक्ष लिया। ततार तथा पर्शिया के अंतिम युद्ध में एकल मुठभेड़ कम्बाट जैसे होता है ना, एकल द्वंद्व युद्ध होता है जो एक से एक लड़ता है, उस मुठभेड़ में बाप बेटे आमने सामने हो गए। सोहराब रुस्तम के हाथों गंभीर रूप से घायल होकर गिरा। रुस्तम को सोहराब का उसका अपना ही पुत्र होने का भेद तब पता लगा जब उसने बड़ा प्राणघातक हमला कर दिया और जब उसकी बाजू पर देखा तो ग्रिफिन सील दिखी और वो पहचाना गया कि ये तो मेरा ही बेटा है। कविता के अंत में हम एक करुणाजनक दृश्य देखते हैं जहां सोहराब ने अपने पिता रुस्तम के हाथों मृत पड़ा है। सोहराब के पास रुस्तम रेत पर दुखी बैठा हुआ। सेनाएं वापस चली जाती हैं। जब शांत हो जाता है सब कुछ तो सब लौट जाते हैं। बाप बेटे वहीं हैं अकेले। सेनाओं के युद्ध का ऑक्सिस नदी पर कोई प्रभाव नहीं पड़ता। वह पूर्ववत निरंतर बहती रहती तथा अंत में अरल सागर में विलीन हो जाती है। कविता ये आयम्बिक पेंटामीटर में लिखी गई है। इसका ब्लैंक वर्स तथा जो प्रेजेंटेशन बहुत सुंदर तरीके से किया गया तथा टेनिसन द्वारा रचित कविता मोर्टेडी ऑर्थर की शैली की हमें यहाँ ये याद दिलाती है कि उसने भी इस प्रकार से इसका लिया था। डियर स्टूडेंट्स, बहुत लंबी पोइम है, करीब ये मान के चलें अपने 900 लाइन की कविता, 890 लाइन की कविता है। मैंने आपको सार समरी बहुत डिटेल में समझा दी है और आप इसको ध्यान से सुने तो ये बहुत फेमस पोइम है। सोहराब एंड रुस्तम। रुस्तम पिता है, सोहराब बेटा है, जिसका उसको बाद में पता लगता है कि ये मेरा ही बेटा था और उसी के हाथों मारा गया। तो ये करुणाजनक स्थिति यहाँ प्रेजेंट की गई है। ओके डियर स्टूडेंट्स, अब आप इसको समझने की कोशिश करेंगे और ये इस प्रकार की जो साहित्य में रचनाएं होती हैं, बहुत विशेष रचनाओं में से एक है, मैथ्यू अर्नोल्ड के द्वारा रचित है। ओके डियर स्टूडेंट्स, अब आप काफ़ी हद तक समझ गए होंगे। जय हिंद, जय भारत।